enter a cold and desolate wasteland that you must not only survive in, but thrive in while growing an expanding colony. Frostpunk combines the best elements of survival, city building, and the spirit of 4K games within a captivating strategy game. A steampunk city builder where you can control the placement of the buildings, the distribution of labor, and the laws that guide your city's evolution. To me, this makes the game a good melding of the RTS mixture and city building mechanics while just trying to keep people alive. Because of the impending ice storms or frozen landscapes, the difficulty is amped up. The people are disgruntled with your rule. Go ahead and set up some guard towers to whip those unruly people into shape. Maybe you prefer to have them hope for survival by setting up churches. You can do all of this amongst a beautiful backdrop as you see the tangle of ramshackle snow-covered structures and smokestacks wafting up, which provides a sort of eerie cozy aesthetic while you take on the end of the world. When the game first came out in April 2018, it only had one main scenario where you just try to survive till the end of the snowstorm. What 11-bit studios did, they also made this war of mine, is instead of just forcing you to pay for more extra DLC to get more of the game, they added extra content for free. Like the endless scenario where you can take on winter storms without any end in sight, or test your luck at a few of the other scenarios. In any of these situations, your primary goal is to survive. You do this by collecting resources like food, coal, and keeping the steam generator at the center of your hub running. Make sure you balance your discontent and hope well. When you have high hope, everyone tends to be, of course, extremely happy. High discontent is where you start to see some struggles. The same goes for low on either. Low hope to 0, you have several days to get it back above a certain range. If you don't, the game ends and you're sent out into the winter land to fend for yourself. Low discontent down to 0 and you're doing well. Everyone may not have high hope, but they're not unhappy with you. Juggling these two meters, the laws and city building makes this game very challenging over your typical city building relaxing style games. Gameplay for this game focuses on balancing those mechanics while building out and expanding your range of the steam generator. You start out with nothing except the generator in the middle and your band of people. Move them to collect from wooden crate piles or coal just laying off the ground. As you soon find out, they can't trudge through the snow without getting sick. You'll need to start building homes, medical tents, food houses, ways to get food, like the food hunters, at the start, and more as you slowly expand out. Thankfully, you only have to focus on 5 resources as your primary source of supply: the coal, steel, wood, uncooked food, and then prepared food. As you build, you'll be able to make locations like coal thumpers that allow you to have several workers assigned to it, as this is definitely a better way to collect coal over sloshing through the snow. Plus, once you research it, you will have heaters that can provide a meager source of heat on those long work shifts. Your homes will start out as tents like everything else. They will build in progress to much nicer cabins. The only real issue is that the higher level things take way more resources to build, supply, and have a good workforce. One cool feature you have once you build the workshop, you can focus on the tech tree that comes with that building. You can build better ways to hunt, farm wood, coal, steel, and so much more. One feature I liked was the ability to build automatons once the factory was built. You can use these giant clunky machines to take the place of your human workforce, and it requires only steam to run. Plus, once you build the beacon, you can finally see the outside world, which brings us to the environment. The environment of the game is, as we mentioned, cold, desolate, and of course, apocalyptic. Your basic view is that of your small area you start in. You can see the circular building pattern and expand out from the generator like a wheel. What impressed me with the game is the visuals are stunning, and the sound effects make you feel like you should zip up a parka just to play while the wind howls around you and the music just draws you further into this winter wasteland. As you expand, you do get the beacon, which allows you to see the overmap. You can then zoom out of your cavern you have built to expand the open world. Here you can send scouts out to find parties of people trying to survive to bring them back, maybe look for loot you're struggling to find, or just expand out searching for what has caused this never-ending winter. While you experience all this, the art style may seem minimalistic and sort of washed out, but for me, it drew me in. Realizing more when a snow-covered home received heat from a steam hub I just placed down, as the snow literally melts away, leaving an open area for people to survive with a touch of warmth in this snow. As you see paths made from workers as they trudge to their home from a long forced shift, where the sun rises from a harsh cold night. Even the menu design was simplistic but forceful as you move throughout the game. One minor grumble, and I found other people just starting out had a similar hard time with this too. Finding out how to build those dang streets. They're super noticeable after you know where to look. When trying to find them at first is difficult. Once you figure out minor quirks like that, the menu issues disappear, as you find yourself fascinated with this little game. The story for this game is a mixture of finding preset animations and making your own story. As you send those scouts out to scrounge around, you'll find pieces of story as you find military bases abandoned or frozen parties of people escaping a storm. This is all hinted at throughout the gameplay. What makes the story for you is when you are deciding to enact a law that makes children work or puts them in homes. Say you choose to put them to work. It may help now, but soon you see the children start to die. Parents will plead with you to give their children a day off work. Say you choose to put the children in the children's home. You can do that, but they soon become a burden on you as you have to heat, feed, and support those kids as they don't work, and you have less people to take on the load. Though one interesting thing later is you can have them help your doctors or scientists to make healing faster or research go faster, which is an interesting concept that your choices will impact what you do. You're faced with many scenarios like, would you sacrifice this kid to work to save these people, or let a multitude of people die so this kid doesn't have to work today? Which makes you think more on, once you enact that law, you wonder, should I have set up the cemetery to allow people to mourn their dead, or just make a snow pit to throw them in and forget about it? Once you make it further into the game, the laws, which are already an expansive list, open up to 2 more additional options. Once this happens, let's just say the crap hits the fan essentially, and you need to find a way to further enforce the laws to keep your people happy. You can choose to go down the path of faith or to enforce order. Order centers around placing guard towers, patrols, and propaganda enforcing the rule. Sort of like 1960s East Berlin. Oh, too soon? While faith focuses on setting up shrines, temples, and faith leaders walking among people to ease their fears. I've tried both, and they have different results, obviously. Faith, I felt, was definitely an easier route, while order does make it harder to rule people as you're ruling them out of fear. This aspect, included in a city building game, really makes the game stand out for me, as the choices you make your own story, which not many games divulge into these days. As you can see, Frostpunk isn't contained to your small city struggling to survive. There are a multitude of other aspects besides just building. An open world you can explore, multiple laws you can enact, tech trees which are always fun to delve into, plus the art style, sound, music, and design really pulls you further into this little gem. Sure, it isn't the next big AAA game where you run around and shoot zombies. No, this game has depth. Besides being in a sunken cavern, I would give this game a 10 out of 10, but there are a few quirks that I've found with this game, which makes me give it a 9 out of 10. After you survive the main scenario and you see that you have a gorgeous time lapse like we see now of your city from start to finish. If you are into city building, survival, or real-time strategy, then I say, why isn't this game already on your wish list? If not, you definitely need to buy it. It goes on sale pretty often, and 11-Bit Studios is a team worth supporting just to play this awesome little game. I hope you enjoyed my Frostpunk review. If you enjoyed my video, please leave a like and a comment below on what you liked about the video, or if you have any other games you'd like me to check out. If you'd like to provide some further support for the channel, make sure to click subscribe. This is the Still Grizzly, wishing you luck with all your future games.